Jeff Gorham alongside as always. New turf, who dis? New playing surface here at Martin Luther King as the Wolves look to bounce back from last week. It was a tough one, 26-20 loss. Your friend Tommy Leach and his Roosevelt Mustangs, Jeffrey.
I'll tell you what, if you are King and Jason McMains, you can't only be happy about this great new turf, but you got to be happy with the way they started the season. Even though you can't say it's no loss is good, but I think it was a good barometer to see where this King team is, and I'll tell you what, they're heading in the right direction.
They say hello to the long blue line of Redlands High School. Bob Stangl, very storied background of him. He played for the legendary Dick Bruick. And the Terriers are looking to bounce back from last season. They won just one game, but they're very optimistic. They played a lot of young players last year, so as a result, a lot of juniors and sophomores in the lineup looking to take that next step.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's nice to have stability. And Coach Stangl, a teacher there for 20-plus years, his father, a longtime coach here in Riverside and San Jacinto, he will bring the pedigree back to Redlands, and he'll bring the stability so that they will be successful come year one here.
It's the Terriers and the Wolves coming up next, the CIF on Riverside TV.
Orange Crest, we're back for King and Redlands week one here on Riverside TV for the CIF. Let me introduce you now to the third member of our broadcast team. Down on the turf today is Nick Rice.
Thanks, guys. A number of football stadiums have recently introduced AstroTurf to their games over the last couple of years. And while most of those turfs include rubber pellets, this King High School stadium includes wood pellets, if we can get a close-up right here. It's a different type of surface. While it's more abrasive, it also brings a cooler surface, which is really nice for these summer nights. But it provides a different type of home field advantage that'll be interesting to see. While King had about 3 months of a summer off season to prepare for this type of stadium, for Redlands, this is a brand new experience, and it'll be interesting to see how they translate to the game tonight. Guys, back to you.
Hey, thanks, Nick. Great tidbit. And we mentioned last week, Ramona had a new surface, and now King's got a new surface as well. Arlington this year, Jeff, with an entirely new stadium. And I understand that it's going to be next year for John W. North. So yeah. It looks like King won the toss and deferred, so Redlands starts with the football. I'm sorry, Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, what a beautiful turf. I mean, you got the alternate greens. Finally, instead of having the big rain cross, you have the actual wolf that says Martin Luther King Wolves in both end zones. It really, really pops here and makes this stadium really fantastic.
Another adjustment for the Wolves, Jeff, they're no longer in the land of the Big Eight.
What?
They're in the new Big Eight configuration, which in essence combines the Southwestern League and the Big Eight and divides them along lines of competitive equity.
And it's called the Big West?
Yes.
So they're going to play UC Riverside? Is that what you're saying? Long Beach State?
They're going to get up to the Valley, yeah.
Yeah, but what a great idea, to combine those two great leagues. And it gives really an ample opportunity for teams like King, for teams that have to play behind Centennial and Norco. It gives these guys an opportunity to make the playoffs and really go into a deep run if you can win this league.
Teeing it up for King on the opening kickoff, Daniel DeQuilla, the senior, picked off the soccer team back deep to receive for Redlands. Julian Scarborough, along with Alex Villa, a sophomore running back. Scarborough started last year as a freshman, kind of a wing-back, wide receiver, running back hybrid. They're back deep to receive the kickoff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this Redlands team. Talking with Pep Fernandez, we were talking about this Redlands team. He's very familiar with it. He said, hey, they started 4 freshmen last year on the varsity.
Very young.
And they played the entire season. So that seasoning as true freshmen should give them a leg up going into this season.
DeQuilla kicks it off, and it's going to be fielded at the 3-yard line. Picked up coming back this way is Scarborough. He's going to try to reverse field. Scarborough in trouble. And down he goes.
Yeah, Scarborough started running forward and said, I think I'm going to go backwards. And nearly ran into the end zone there. A couple occasions he gets out to the 5-yard line.
So they're going to say it's the 6-yard line is where they'll tee it up 1st and 10. And at the controls for Redlands, Dawson Martinez, the sophomore quarterback, started last year as a freshman. And remember, the Terriers took their lumps last year. They were 1-9. In fact, they've lost 18 of their last 19. But Coach Bob Stangl reiterated to me, hey, this is a great group of kids. They are not discouraged in the least bit. We've had a great 6 months of workouts.
Yeah, and you look at the numbers. We were out on the field prior to the game, and there's a lot of guys out there. That's a big buy-in, and we do know the tradition, of Redlands being over 4,000 students now down to about 2,400. They still have a big contingent of players.
Ethan Oliveros is the tailback. Split out to the top of your screen, Tyson Gaines. Martinez throws, completes it to Gaines. He's up to about the 9-yard line, 3-yard pickup, brings up 2nd and 7.
Yeah, in fact, King was supposed to have a sophomore quarterback, got hurt in the scrimmage, and he would have been a sophomore as well, so it would have been bookended sophomores at quarterback tonight.
Noah Harris, ACL tear against Elsinore in the scrimmage. So Keon Gant now gets the opportunity, but right now we're focused on young Dawson Martinez at the controls for Redlands, 2nd down. A little bit of movement up front. No flag, though. Long count. Up the middle. Across the 15 for a 1st down. Oliveras on the carry.
So Redlands spread out pretty well out here. No huddle. But this is their first game. Remember, King has a game under their belt. And we could see some jitters here from this Redlands team. Look at that. Look at the sea of red behind the goalpost there.
Via the tailback. Gains to the top of your screen. In the far slot is Scarborough. 1st down and 10 from the 16. And Coach Stangl has said they're going to go tempo. That's what they're going to try to do, and it's picked off. That's Sam Green. Pick 6. Touchdown, King. It's 6-0 Wolves.
Boy, he just jumped it, and it was thrown right directly into his hands. Into Mr. Green. We were going to talk a lot about him. His father, a standout performer at the University of California, Berkeley. Bob Green, former coach at Rubidoux back in the day. But a big, big play from Mr. Green.
And the red zone, you talked about it, they had something to cheer about early. So the PAT pumped through by D'Aquila, and it's 7-0. So 4 touchdowns scored thus far on the season by Martin Luther King, Jeffrey. 3 have been scored by the defense.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's going to be a great indication of how this team's going to do. Because remember, the offensive line is relatively young this year with King, inexperienced, and they're going to have to really rely on that defense. And talking to Coach McMains and Coach Martinez, he said, hey, they've got all the faith in the world in that defensive line and that defensive secondary.
Well, and the interesting thing, Jeff, is the defense is young too. They're 4 linebackers, all sophomores. Now they have 2 underclassmen, a sophomore and a junior starting up front. Their secondary is the most experienced aspect of the team. They're 4 seniors back there. But Sam Green, the junior, was 8th on the team in tackles last year. Brings that one back, the pick 6, and it's 7-0 Wolves.
And talking with Coach McMains, he said, hey, we've always had great lines here at King. We just didn't have the great skilled guys. He said that was going to be the question. We have skilled guys this year. How will the line hold up? But I'll tell you what, you really don't need to if you're playing that great a defense.
So the first turnover goes the way of the Kings, and they convert it immediately into 7 points. Scarborough bringing it back. He's got some skills. He's up to about the 30-yard line, bumped out of bounds there. Tackle on the play made by Noah Neal for King, and it'll be 1st and 10 right about at the 30-yard line.
Kickoff returned by number 5, Julian Scarborough. Returns ball about 15 yards, brought out of bounds by number 38, Max Henchey.
We talked about the defensive line for King. Across, they play a 3-4. Isaiah Butler, 5'11 senior. Ethan Kyles, a junior. He's supposedly the best player on that unit. And Coach McMains told us, hey, watch for young Andrew Dixon, a sophomore. He got a little bit of time last year off the freshman team on the varsity on a couple of little mop-up duty. 1st and 10, Redlands from the 30. Near slot Scarborough. Trips to the left side. Here's the give up the middle to Villa. Surges forward for about 3.
Yeah, that's a big front from King. You look at their in fact, those 3 guys up front are bigger than my wife's wedding party. Hey-ho!
Dane Adkaoli, the big man in the middle, a sophomore center, kind of leading the way. Little trickery. Here's Scarborough around the end. Scarborough to the open field. Bumped out of bounds at the last minute by Dayton Ford. He got up inside the 30-yard line. Let's see where they mark it.
And they there's a holding call at right around the 37-yard line. So they're going to bring it back, and that's going to be negated after a great run. Great play call, though, from Redlands.
Nice job there by Bob Stangl, head coach, taking over at Redlands.
He was wearing a tie today. A short
kind of
shirt
that
and a
era,
tie.
the era Parseghian, Vince Lombardi look.
There you go.
I like it, classy look. So it'll all come back for Redlands, though. The mistake will bring the ball back inside the original line of scrimmage. They'll go back to the 28.
Either that or he's a good humor man. He's a well-dressed coach. I love it.
John Patello is the offense coordinator, John Botello. Remember, he was with Tommy Leach a couple years ago at Roosevelt. He's a Colton guy. Also worked for an old friend of ours at Redlands East Valley, Rich Lunsford, a couple years ago.
Lunsford, great guy. He's Mr. CrossFit.
He's very fit.
Man.
2nd and 12, line to get is the 40 for Redlands. Split out to the bottom of your screen, David Moratet. Looking in that direction, complete to Scarborough, about the 34. He'll just step out of bounds to the 36-yard line, bringing up a 3rd and about 4.
Steps out of bounds at about the 36-yard line. Brings up 3rd and 4.
So 7-0 Wolves, clock ticking here in the first half. First series, a pick 6 by Sam Green. Daniel Corey runs off for King. He'll be replaced by Kyles, who took a play off. 3rd and 4 coming up. Luke Butler to the bottom of your screen. Now here's Scarborough in motion. Martinez rolling. He's got some pressure. He'll fling it downfield. Threw a good ball. It's complete, but did he stay in bounds?
Pass is caught out of bounds.
And they'll say incomplete, 4th down. How about that throw, though, Jeff?
That was great poise. I mean, he ran with confidence, threw it on on the run. It was a perfect throw. Just stepped out of bounds. But, hey, we're finally going to get to see King play some offense, hopefully, here.
Jacob Marion back to punt for Redlands, back for King. Elijah Simley Flores. Remember, he was a big playmaker last year as a wide receiver, and he's exciting anytime he gets the ball in the open field. 4th down from the 36. Marion puts his foot into it. Punt going to come down about the 34-yard line. Simley Flores avoids the first tackler. Now he's off to the races, breaks another tackle. He's at midfield, finally just short of midfield, upended.
Punt is returned by number 7.
30-yard kick. Return up to the 46-yard line. So about a 12-yard return. And we'll see King take the offense. There is a flag on the play. It'll go against the Wolves.
At some point in the play.
So 1 penalty on each squad right now.
What they call blocking a back there?
Illegal block of sorts.
Yeah.
Looks like it is against King.
By the way, going back to last week, so drive it in today. Got a call from our old friend Alan Zinsmeister. Now, Alan works with me on CSUN basketball, but people don't know. He was a pretty good football player back in the day. He competed with a couple of Hall of Famers, Warren Moon and James Lofton. In fact,
right.
He and Lofton are good buddies. He watched the game. He had a great this is tell you how much he loves football. 1st and 10 from the 33. Neal on the misdirection, keeping it as Gant running the option. He'll flip it to the outside. Reversing field, coming back the other way is Dayton Ford. Ford to midfield. Ford, nothing in front of him. Like DoorDash, he is to the house. 67-yard run for Dayton Ford. No laundry on the field. Touchdown, Wolves.
And I'll tell you what, Dayton Ford nearly blocked the punt to get in the good field position, and then he goes and makes an enormous run. Boy, he is all over the field here so far in this first quarter.
Ford with a scintillating play, and nice job. Good credit to Keon Gant there. Keeping his eyes ahead on the option. PAT up and good. It's 14-0. You're an old basketball guy, so you'll appreciate this. What Keon Gant did there, you know how when you're at basketball camp they tell you don't give up the dribble?
Yes.
Gant didn't give up the dribble. He kept rolling, and then pitched it back to Ford.
And I'll tell you, a nice pivot move, like you said. Great misdirection, though. I mean, the first handoff, what everybody thought went to the running back, was pounded, and he just made a perfect little pitch. And what a great run from Mr. Ford.
But getting back to Alan Zinsmeister, because you're talking about blocking the back, he was still fired up about that punt return for Arlington.
Oh, I think everybody
he was like, there's no block in the back, and he's usually a defensive guy, so It was funny to me. He was yelling at me, there's no block in the back. I watched that play 3 times, there's no block in the back.
Well, and Matt Ariano, who's the white hat of that game, he's a teacher here at King High School.
Yes.
And he was his father, longtime coach at Arlington High School.
Yeah.
Well, they had the Hall of Fame stuff the next day, and apparently everybody was like, what was that call? He had to show up. Matt Ariano, great referee, great guy. I was love messing with him, but one of the finer white hats we have in high school football.
And yet another kickoff for King, fielded in front of the 10-yard line. This is Scarborough, 30-35, trying to make something happen. Picking him up and putting him down. One man to beat is the kicker, and he will not beat him. To the house. The kids lose it when the DJ drops the needle. 89-yard kickoff return in response by Julian Scarborough. And, Jeff, believe it or not, they couldn't bring him down.
He went coast to coast, and this is great. This is a shootout. This is what we want to see. We want to see these guys getting out, breaking tackles, and, man, what a great run.
I'm looking for Jerry Tarkanian and Stan Morrison to stand up. It's like one of those old PCAA games, 119-114, Pacific and UNLV.
Wow, what a great start here to this ball game. We still have 8 minutes and 24 seconds left in the first quarter.
So tough running on offense for Redlands, but the special teams gets it done. PAT coming up. Eric Napolitano, the junior, to kick it out of the hold of David Muratet. Whistles. The flag? I didn't see a flag. There is a flag.
It is a flag, but he looks like he's throwing a red. It looks like a red flag. Is that red? That doesn't seem to be standard yellow, my friend. I think he has a red flag. Is there a rule saying you can't have a yellow flag?
Maybe the white hat is a different color flag. I don't know.
I would bring it. I definitely go chartreuse if I had my own flag.
Joe Malikan, that's right. It doesn't matter to you. You have that color blindness issue. The kick is up, and it is good. 14-7.
Look at this. Here's the replay of that run. Let's see how many guys he gets away from. There's one.
That first wave, once he gets through, I mean, he's just turning on the jets and going. Dukilla has a chance. Remember, he's a soccer player playing football, so couldn't quite get to him. Good angle taken down the sideline by Scarborough, who was a starter for Redlands last year as a freshman.
In less than 4 minutes of the game, at this rate, by the end of 48 minutes of play, we should have somewhere between 41.
So my notebook here, I have 20 spaces for scores, and usually it's way more than enough. We may challenge that tonight, Jeff.
Oh man, we could be here till 11:30 tonight watching. You know what though? I don't mind. I love watching guys score. You know, I don't know. Are you a defensive guy? I've never been. I mean, I like defense. Offense.
Me and Mark Gottfried agree. The most entertaining. Put the ball in the basket.
Score
the ball.
That's your defense.
Coach Godfrey, score the ball. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's his defense. Yeah. Let's score the ball.
That's what people used to say about me when I played. You can't guard anybody. Yeah, but who cares? I'm outscoring you.
They can't stop you.
You can't stop me.
And listen, defense is important. I'm not saying it's not, but sometimes defense is a little overemphasized. Kickoff into the end zone. It'll come out to the 20. No return here. Nice job booming it deep by Jacob Marion. for Redlands, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line.
Oh,
I grew up watching the Big East, so Georgetown and Syracuse and St. John's would score 80 points a game. They'd go play Georgetown and score 55. That's what that's my idea of defense. If you're playing a team with no firepower and you're holding a team that scores 55 to 49, what are you really doing? And I remember Pep Fernandez. It was a discussion I had with Pep Fernandez some years ago.
No, he's a defensive guy. He's
First
a weirdo.
and 10 from the 20. Here's Gant. The give to. No, he's another fake, and he'll give it off instead to Ford. They tried it again, and Ford up the right side to the 24-yard line. Marion there, among others, to push him out of bounds. Also in on the play for Redlands, Eamon Lockett. They like him a lot. Senior linebacker, one of the best players, according to Coach Stangl, on the defense there, kind of their anchor. But we were talking about, it was Corona Centennial, but we were talking about King. Under 8 minutes to play first quarter, 14-7 home team. 2nd and 6. Gant to throw. The lefty puts it up, and it's complete in the middle of the field to Ford. He's doing it all. 44-yard line. 20-yard completion will move the sticks up. Dayton Ford playing Forrest Whitaker in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Tackled by Jefferson.
Somebody must have messed with this car.
This is my brother's car. Another look at it.
What a
Good
great
ball.
Yeah, great ball.
And Jason McMains, we know this from when he coached at Notre Dame, was the offensive coordinator. He loves that deep shot, but he'll take advantage of the middle of the field. This time, Neal running with the ball, and Neal up to the second level, and he finally is dragged down from behind by Marion inside the 30-yard line. Gets to about the 26, 32-yard pickup for Noah Neal Jr., and he's picking up right where he left off last year, Jeffrey.
Well, I'll tell you what. Stop wearing a T-shirt. That's how you got tackled. Tuck that thing in. What did your parents used to always say? Tuck your shirt in.
Tuck it in.
Tuck it in.
That's right.
I'm going to tell that young man, I'm going to go down at halftime. Tuck that shirt in, young fella.
With children, where he will have multiple children dragging from him as he's walking his way through a classroom. As was demonstrated.
So from the 26-yard line, it'll be a 1st and 10. Split out to the top of the screen for King is Blake Bowen. Watch him, the young freshman for Jason McMains. Neal toting it again to the right side this time. Just putting his shoulder down. He loves some contact. Gets up to about the 13-yard line. He's taken down there by Jesse Hernandez for Redlands. So about a 12-yard pickup and another first down for the Wolves.
Yeah, Neal coming up hobbling a bit here, but like I said, he is just going right through that defense, taking the shots.
The big boys up front for King: Jake Blinko, Gabe McGuire, Paul Lopez, Ryan Pareda, and Christian Hicks. Simley Flores in motion. They'll flip it to Simley Flores. Flores trying to turn the corner. Grabbed, and he breaks the tackle, but allowing other guys to show up. It does not matter. Touchdown, Simley Flores. Weaving through traffic like a stunt driver on a movie set. Touchdown, King.
Well, we saw him on the return, and he did the same thing. He is a slippery guy. He had 3 guys that put his hands on him. He must have taken a dip in some Crisco before the game.
I was going to say stick him, but it would be the opposite of stick him. It looked like Gutierrez had him, the linebacker for Redlands, waited for help to show up, but Simley Flores kind of swam through the current. Let's take a look at it again. Well, this is the fake earlier.
And here's that nice pass right down the middle. Like you said, McMains taking advantage of the middle. Kind of a Brandon Jacobs look.
That's right. When you can go north-south like that, that pulls him down violently at the end there. And so here we go. Here's the flip to Simley. He's got Green out in front blocking him. And they have him dead to rights here. Then he kind of puts his foot on the turf and gets to the outside. Touchdown, King.
Boy, he is fun to watch, isn't he? Quick as can be.
21-7. We've played about half of this first quarter. Already 28 points on the board. We got a special teams touchdown. We got a defensive touchdown. Remember, that drive went back to the 20 for King. So they drove 80 yards in about 7 plays. And listen, let's be honest. King a little bit frustrated. They thought they should have had the game last week. talking to Jason McBain, he was very candid with me. He said, I was pleased with the effort. I was pleased how they came out. It's week 0. There are going to be some kinks. But he said, I was not happy with our execution. Our level of execution needed to be better. We needed to be more efficient. From the 6-yard line, here's the return. Up to the 25.
Kickoff is returned by number 5, Julian Scarborough. Brought down to the 25-yard line, 1st and 10, Redlands.
So Redlands will tee it up again, trailing here 21-7, 6:29 to play in the first half. Thanks for joining us. Ghazal and Jeff with you.
So we're in week 1, right?
This is week 1.
So last week, I don't like it.
You don't like week 0? I get it.
I have a hard time with that.
Hey, they're week 0 guys, and they're not week 0 guys, so,
Are you a week 0 guy? Can you grasp? I have a hard time putting my
I'm
brain
like
around
50-50, I got a couple of weeks ago at a pizza order. They accidentally put pineapple on my pizza, and I didn't think it was that bad. So I'm wondering, do I really like pineapple on pizza, or was I just that hungry where it didn't matter to me?
Oh, pineapple's good.
I didn't mind it. And I'm a bit of a pizza snob. Martinez gives to Villa. Palomalu over top makes the tackle after about a 2-yard gain. Dev Palomalu with the tackle for King.
All right, what's your favorite fast food pizza? Just give me the best chain.
I'm a pizza snob. I don't do chain pizza.
You don't do any chain
I don't
pizzas?
do
Knock
chain-
it off.
Oh, you know what? No, the one I will eat at Sabara.
Oh, that's the mall pizza.
Yeah, the mall pizza.
Mall pizza's great.
Yeah. But other than that, I'm a bit of a pizza snob. Also there's a Fresh Brothers by where I live, so I'll have that occasionally.
What's a Fresh Brother?
It's like a little kind of they have them in the grocery stores, so when you just don't have time to actually sit checking out and you see, I want to grab a pizza, it's Fresh Brothers. Second down, a little bit of a missed exchange, and Alu as he plants Villa.
Ouch.
Brought down immediately by number 6, Des Polamalu.
So Des Polamalu making his presence felt. Let's take a look at it again. Oh, he just came down the smokestack there.
Yes, he did.
Third down coming up, back to the original line of scrimmage, which was the 25. Luke Butler to the bottom of your screen. It's trips to the left side. And this is Scarborough in motion. It'll go 2-by-2. Martinez, here comes the pressure. And Martinez will just tuck it under and step out of bounds just in front of the 30-yard line.
Man, Martinez runs well, though. I mean, he gets going.
It's when coaches tell you you can't replicate game speed. When you're a 9th grader who's played a year of varsity, you understand how to make plays like this. No panic there. Squared up with Christian Hicks, and he steps out of bounds. And 4th down, and Redlands will punt. Simley back for King. Jacob Marion on to punt for Redlands. His heels on the 15-yard line of the Terriers. Line of scrimmage officially the 29. Marion with the kick. Turns over a little bit. Lands at about the 36, and it'll be down at the 38-yard line. So a 33-yard kick, no return. Downing it for Redlands' Jesse Hernandez, and King takes over. (21-7) Wolves. They have another opportunity. We're still just in the first quarter.
Holy smokes.
We've had
Nice evening. Got a little breeze coming in here.
Nice breeze coming in.
It was really hot today.
Empty set coming up. 4 receivers to the near side. Gant throws it out to Simley Flores, and now he'll run after catch. Flores into Redlands territory, pushed out of bounds at about the 45-yard line, 17-yard connection.
Carried by number 7, Elijah Simley.
That was a nice play there. 3 guys out for a screen pass.
15, Jacob Woods.
Keon Gant, the senior, he was with Coach McBain's at Citrus Hill. Transferred last year, had to do a bit of a sit-out, and talking with Simley Flores, we saw how good he was last year.
Tuck your shirt in, guys. That could have been another touchdown.
44 of Redlands.
I'm going to text McMains right now. Tell you guys to tuck your shirts in.
Neal puts his shoulder down and rolls up, knocking him down. Getting him down underneath was Amon Lockett for Redlands. And Coach Stengel very high on Lockett. Just as so versatile as a defender, smart football player, really likes what he does. 4-year player. He thinks he's going to be playing somewhere at the next level.
Oh, that's going to.
Here comes, you're right, it's not a yellow flag. Tackle made by Jaden Woods on the outside. Ball carrier was Blake Bowen, the freshman. And how about a welcome to varsity football here.
Man.
As down he goes. I don't think there was any bad intent there. I think it was just a bad, like a bad position, a bad angle.
There was no nefariousness.
No skullduggery influence there. They're going to wave, and John Malcolm, the white hat, agrees with us. He waves off the flag. So 39-yard line of Redlands, third down coming up. Let's see, can the Bulldogs get off the I knew I was going to do that. Can the Terriers get off the field now? Gant. No, instead, that's Bowen at quarterback. In a Wildcat set, he gets the first down to the 30-yard line, 9-yard pickup, and the sticks move up.
And, that's where the difference in quarterbacks is. You have the injured quarterback who's more of a pocket passer.
Haros, yeah.
And this young man right here is quick as can be, and that was what Coach Rich Martinez says. He gives us an opportunity with his feet, and that right there was a big play and a big momentum changer.
He had such good luck last year with Haros as a freshman at quarterback. He's given Bowen some reps there. Gant back in now, 1st and 10 from the 30. Lefty has some time. He'll sling it downfield, and it's a touchdown.
I think that worked out well.
Galvin Riker with the reception for the touchdown for King. 31-yard strike from Keon Gant, who threw one last week as well.
Look at that sea of students. What is that called? Do they call it the red zone?
The red zone.
I thought they said the friend zone. When we came in, I said the friend zone.
Yeah, that's where I would have sat in high school. PAT good.
Well, there's that screen pass, the first set there.
So here's Bowen, the freshman, trying to run to the outside, and down he goes. Then here's Bowen taking it himself out of the Wildcat set to the 30-yard line. And then Gant back in, the lefty looks down the field, and he's going to fling it, and he'll find Galvin Riker for the touchdown. 28-7. We're still in the first quarter, Jeff Gorham.
I love it.
I guess this battle station of Martin Luther King's offense is fully operational.
It's doing something.
You been watching any of the new Star Wars content? Did you like Obi-Wan, Jeff?
I loved Obi-Wan. I love seeing Darth Vader slicing and dicing.
You do?
I do. It's like it's all offense. I don't want to see defense. I want to see you slicing and dicing. I'm not a big fan of the She-Hulk yet, though.
I've not watched that as of yet.
No, I'm not a big fan.
Tequila, the right footer, into the football, fielded at the 11-yard line. This is Scarborough. He's already taken one back. They're not going to let it happen again. Shoved out of bounds, getting over there for King is Anthony Porter. Porter also playing a little bit on defense for Jason McMains. So they'll mark it at the 26. That's where Redlands will start. Get a look at the King sideline there.
Yeah, a lot of people here. They got the friend zone over there. They've got the.
You're going to get us in trouble. It is the red zone.
It's the friend zone.
The student sitting.
No, they're all friends. They're obviously sitting together. That's a friend zone.
There's that other connotation, though, Jeff.
Is it? Oh, the friend zone.
Well, not for you, but for the rest of us.
Yeah. The red zone. I love it. The friendly red zone.
Martinez with the option. RPO, they snuff it out, and he goes down at about the 21-yard line. Coming up from the safety position, Zyfer Schnackenberg, the senior, had 22 tackles last year to go with a couple of INTs, sniffs the play out, and he just goes and tees off and drops Martinez in the backfield, about a 3-yard loss. 2nd and 13 coming up. But no, it is a nice atmosphere tonight.
It's great.
A little bit of a breeze in the air here at Martin Luther King High.
I'm not beating sweat off my bald head.
Van Buren and Wood. Martinez from the pistol. Looking downfield. He's got a man. Incomplete. No flag on the play. Good coverage down the field. Dayton Ford was there along with Dominic Fitzpatrick. Little bit underthrown. I thought he had a step on the receivers, did Ethan Oliveras. Another look at it.
It looked good until it just kind of stopped mid.
Fitzpatrick made a nice play, but I
Yeah.
think if that's thrown a little bit up high, they may have gotten a PI on that because he would have had to make contact. 3rd down coming up. But the defense looks good for King, Jeff.
They really do. That secondary, I mean, they're all over the field when they blitz through the 3 guys up front. Redlands just doesn't seem to have an answer for it, and Martinez is on his heels the entire time.
Yeah, Javez Robinson running the defense for Jason McMains. Your friend Rich Martinez still on the coaching staff for King, helping out on the defensive side as well, so you know they're going to be prepared.
He's all right. He's kind of a friend. Rich Martinez, good dude. You know, he's the guy. He's always the fill-in guy.
Yeah.
You need somebody. Got Rich Martinez.
Well, didn't he coached Ramona, didn't he?
He was a head coach at Ramona. Did a great job.
Illegal formation. They're going to move it back 5 yards for Redlands.
Now I mess around. Rich Martinez, family friend, and just a wonderful football mind, and does anything he can for the kids. I asked him, hey, when are you going to retire? You're old. And he's like, no, can't do it because I'm enjoying these kids. And you got to like guys like that.
On the big 3rd down play, here's Martinez, and a bit of a breakdown on the play. He gets up to the 25-yard line. Tackled there. A number of red shirts there. I believe Dayton Ford was the first one to him. And 4th down. Another punt. Line of scrimmage, the 25. Martinez on the bootleg, and nothing cleared up.
Tell you, really take your look. Keep an eye on number 4, Dayton Ford. He has got in nearly both times to block this punt. Let's see if he's can be stopped this time as he's outside. Now they're going to bring somebody over. Let's see if he can get to the.
Jacob Marion puts his foot into it. Shorter kick. Simley Flores going to feel at the 44-yard line. He's into Redlands territory now, trying to reverse field, and he goes back to King territory, tackled there by Maddox Gutierrez, who tracked him the whole way. So a 29-yard kick and a return of about 3 yards.
Not a whole lot of juke in there.
Well, nice. Gutierrez did a nice job locking in on him. Once he got to the outside, Gutierrez squared him up, did what you're supposed to do. That's just good fundamental tackling there.
He has more
Just
jukes than a Wurlitzer. Remember the Wurlitzer jukeboxes? And no one knows that
Rock
one.
around the clock.
Yeah.
Gant looking downfield. Complete to Simley Flores at about the 40. He dances up to the 35-yard line. So about a 17-yard connection, 1st down. You were the kid in high school who was like the Fonz. You'd go hit the jukebox and would play whatever song you wanted.
You're darn right.
Take on Me by Aha. Karma Chameleon by Culture Club.
You know, I was thinking today, I was thinking about the 80s, and I miss the Culture Club and George Michael and Wham. I never got to see George Michael. That's one of my biggest saddest moments. I never got to see him live.
So Galvin Riker in the far slot on your screen. Split out to the bottom of your screen is Simley Flores. Throwing his Gant, pocket breaks down. Off his back foot, he'll loft it up, just throws it away. 2nd and 10. The 2 acts that I regretted not seeing because I had opportunities to see them. A friend of mine many years ago had a ticket to see Johnny Cash.
Oh.
And I didn't go. It was down in Orange County. I didn't want to go down in Orange County, which was a mistake. And then an old roommate of mine is a huge Prince guy. And he's like, you got to see Prince
I saw
live.
Prince.
You got to see. And I never saw Prince live.
Oh, see, I saw him, and it was a spectacle. Billy Joel's my favorite though of all time. Favorite concert.
Option. Gant keeps it. Fumbles it. Ball loose. I believe King got it back right at the line of scrimmage. Yes.
Hey, Billy Joel's from your neck of the woods. You ever see Billy Joel?
Long Island. I did see Billy Joel at Yankee Stadium once, but I'm not a big stadium concert guy. You know who I saw recently? I saw the great Dave Alvin down at the Belly Up.
At the
And-
Belly
and
Up.
he played that song 4th of July. And everybody thinks it's John Doe, but John Doe actually is covering Dave Alvin and the
Yeah.
Blasters. Let me tell you something. Dave Alvin's got to be 67 years old, and the man put on an unbelievable show.
He wasn't animatronic. He was real. He was
real.
up there.
Last play of the third quarter, Gant dumps it off. Neal lowers the shoulder. Good tackle by Marion, short of the first down, and that's the end of the first quarter.
And with the sound of the incredibly weak buzzer.
28-7 is the score. We'll go down to Nick Rice.
Well, the story of the game coming in for King High School was the debut of their new turf with the wood pellets. And I'd say, based on the conversation so far about the incredible scoring frenzy from these two teams, that the turf will certainly create more speed than there was before for these players. King only had 2 games all of last year scoring more than 28 points. They have 28 at the end of the first quarter. So the speed of these two offenses have been on full display so far today. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Nick. Second quarter about to get underway here. What are your thoughts so far? I mean, 28 points, that's a big output for King. When I talked with Jason McMains this week, you had him on the coach's perspective. He said, we weren't efficient on the offense. We didn't execute properly. I guess those are two things that they've been doing much better here in the first quarter.
They look fluid. If that makes any sense at all, they just seem like they're in a groove offensively and defensively. You know, they're not making every play, but the one pass they just threw out of bounds here, but they seem to be very fluid and in sync tonight for just the second game of the season.
Offensive coordinator for King has been Steve Johnstone, work with McMains, and a 4th down coming up, and they'll go for it. Mosley in motion. Here's the throw from Gant down the field, and Simile Flores, did he reel it in? He did. First down at the 11-yard line.
So can we give Simile Flores the Heisman Trophy right now? Because he's playing out of his mind. That's a beautiful catch. I mean, he goes up with 2 hands and does exactly what he's supposed to. Grabs it, pulls it in tight to his chest.
I mean, that's a great job by Simile. That was a little bit behind him. He had to kind of turn around a little bit in the air. And sometimes, as a receiver, as a quarterback does that, you kind of put him in a little bit of danger. But of no mind for Simile Flores, who brings it down at the 12-yard line. Gant to Neal. Riding Neal down from behind. Guess who is Gutierrez?
And there's a flag on a play. They're going to call face masking on defense, I believe. Let's see if I'm correct. There it is.
Jeff, you make the call.
I'm telling you, man, I'm one step away from carrying my own flag.
Joe Malum is our white hat today. Dan Williams is our referee. Demetrius Jones and Phil Barrios also on the crew. So it'll move it to the 6. It'll be 1st and goal. 28-7. 28 points put up. That's got to be the most points King has put up in a quarter in a long time.
I'm going to say right now it's a record. A modern-day record. Even though the school's only, 20 years old? 20-something?
Yeah, 1999, right? Palomalu trying to get the edge, and he will not. Stopped by Lockett. Amain Lockett, again, we talked about how much Coach Stengel thinks of him. 2nd and goal coming up. Well, I guess not 2nd and goal, huh? Because the automatic first down, they don't move the stick.
Yeah,
so they can still, they can get a first down where? About at the 2-yard line, 3-yard line?
Right at the 2.
So clock turning. 2nd down. Jesse Monreal out to the top of your screen. Gant rolling left, throwing. Touchdown. Elijah Simile Flores finds pay dirt again. So Simile Flores, his 2nd touchdown on the evening. And King picking up in the second quarter, Jeff, just as they left off in the first.
Man, they are a juggernaut on offense. Whatever McMain said this week. Look at that beautiful shot we have from our goalpost camera.
D'Aquila with the PAT makes it a 35-7 game. And I'm going to give a little credit to Keon Gant. We got into it a little bit earlier, and we're talking with Jason McMains. He's a guy who knows the system, but Coach McMains wanted to point out how hard he worked over the summer. And he did that work thinking he would be the number 2 quarterback.
Exactly. I mean,
so that's always great when a guy works so hard without any guarantee. He didn't worry about the outcome. He controlled what he could control. And obviously you never root for an injury, but the injury, and now he's forced to play, and he's playing well today.
Playing well, with his head up, head on a swivel. He is looking like he has seen the entire field. And he's got great legs. We've seen him move laterally better than any quarterback we've seen so far.
You're going to run some RPO, and he can absolutely do that. D'Aquila, here's the kickoff. Scarborough retreating, and the ball will skip into the end zone. Will come out to the 20 for Redlands.
Kickoff goes into the end zone.
Redlands, remember their first game. They did not get a chance to play last week. Bob Stangl Jr. taking over his first season as a head coach. Now remember, he has an interesting backstory. Bob Stangl Jr. took over for Dick Bruick when Dick Bruick left Fontana. He played for Coach Bruick, although he grew up in Riverside.
Hey, grew up over by me.
He was the first coach at Fontana after Dick Bruick, and I wish he would have talked to me because I would have told him it's always a mistake. You never want to be the guy to follow legends.
Never follow that.
Yeah. Although, Joe Davis is doing okay with the Dodgers following Vin Scully. But, yeah, for the most part, that's the exception that proves the rule. 1st and 10 from the 20. Scarborough. And he'll be pulled down behind the line of scrimmage. Palomalu in on the hit along with Anthony Porter for King.
That's why if you're a comedian, you always have unfunny guys if you're the headliner.
Not really. You want different guys, right? I mean, listen. You never want to go up before Dave Chappelle, right?
Never.
You got to pick and choose.
Oh, I have a great Dave Chappelle story. Dave Chappelle and Dane Cook. Dave Chappelle, I have a great Dave Chappelle story. My brother was at a show once. I'll get back to it. It's great.
2nd and 13. This is Scarborough in motion. Martinez back to throw, looking down the field. He's got Scarborough and intercepted, but did he stay in bounds? Picked off by Dalen Anderson, but I believe he was out of bounds. It'll just be an incompletion.
Okay, Dave Chappelle, comedy show. He's sitting in the back having a little drink. Dane Cook is on stage. And I'm sorry, Dave Chappelle is on stage, and they said, Dane Cook's going on after you. He said, no, he's not. Yeah, he is. So Chappelle goes over, does his set, and then tells everybody in the audience, hey, I'm going to go outside and have a cigarette. You're all more than welcome to come out, and I'll sign autographs for you. So Dane Cook, my brother said, he went to go see it, and he said nobody stayed and watched Dane Cook. Because Dave Chappelle wanted to be the headliner.
It's funny, so I'll bring it around. So Dane Cook got his start at a little club in L.A. called Dublin's, 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Dublin's, that show was produced by a kid from Riverside.
Really?
John W. North alum football player Ahmed.
Oh, that's your guy.
That's
He's
my
an
man.
actor, too.
He started, the two people he launched, Dane Cook was the first comic to go up, and then he also launched, for better or for worse, Ken Jeong. I remember going to see Ken Jeong at Dublin's back in the day. He would destroy. It was a pretty rowdy crowd. It's a tough place to get laughs, but Cook and Jeong both cut their teeth there, but all because of a kid from Riverside who had a dream. 3rd down. Martinez dancing around, and down he goes. Palomalu finishes it off. He was being chased by Isaiah Butler, and then Palomalu comes in and said, let me take that.
You say a dream? The only dreams I get, I'm always being chased around by monsters or little kids.
See, I'm shocked. I mean, maybe you guys ran different. I'm shocked you and Ahmed don't know each other because you're at the same generation. He was a North guy. You were a Ramona guy.
I don't like
I'm
North
sure
guys.
You knew people in common. He was a football guy. You were a basketball guy. Maybe that was the rub. So 4th down coming up. Lost back to about the 12. And a punt coming up. Simile Flores standing just to the left of that painted wolf visage at midfield.
You said visage.
Visage.
That's good.
I stole that from John Ramey, I'll be honest.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Marion with about two yards in his end zone. Line of scrimmage, officially the 12. He'll put his foot into it. Simile Flores will call the fair catch at the 45-yard line. So a 33-yard kick, no return. Good field position once again for the Wolves of King.
Man, the King is just continues to score. See if that, man, I just 35 points here with 8:38 left in a half.
I mean, listen, they used to be in a league with Centennial. I mean, they're taking something out of Matt Logan's book. What was the first game? Didn't Centennial beat somebody 85-0 or something?
Yeah, they played Santiago.
Oh, wow.
And they beat them 70. It was up 77-0 at halftime. Yeah, Pep Fernandez always says Santiago funny. I can't do it.
Completion to Bowen at about midfield. He'll get a couple of yards and get spun down. First man there for Redlands was Quentin Willis. He was the first one to make contact. Second down coming up.
Yeah, you've heard Pep say Santiago,
Santiago.
right? See, I'm going to be honest here. I'm going to pull the screen back. Anytime he says that, as he feels like my little brother to me, I want to punch him.
But, I mean, isn't he doing Jack Nicholson from A Few Good Men? Isn't that where it's from?
I don't think Pep knows anything about Jack Nicholson.
Oh. He should.
He should.
You're his best friend. You should sit him down and whack and watch the movie.
I should, but I really do want to punch him out when he says that, and he knows it.
Kiefer is the best in that movie. May I call you John? No, you may not. Second down and 12 coming up. Bowen out of the Wildcat. Bowen to the 40. He's got some room. Bowen to pay dirt. Touchdown, Wolves. 47-yard run for the youngster. Blake Bowen, just a freshman, being thrust into duty. And how about that 47-yard touchdown run?
That's not a freshman. Get out of here. That was a great run. There's Coach McMahon slapping him on the forehead, saying, hey, don't throw the ball down after you score. We don't want any penalties.
Wow. So 2 touchdowns already here in the second quarter. And finally something goes Redlands' way, a blocked PAT coming through and putting it down. That's Murate with the blocked PAT. So something went wrong finally for King as you look at Bowen sliding to the end zone.
He's really a freshman.
He's kind of sidling. He's listed on the roster as a freshman.
That's pretty impressive. He looks more like a junior.
Maybe he is. Maybe it's, you never know with these rosters now, right, Jeff?
Yeah, I don't know because their quarterback at Citrus or Orange Vista is 14 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what you were doing at 14, but I could barely tie my shoes at 14.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels opened a lot of doors, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Kajaya Holloway, Jaden Daniels, all these guys. Back in the day, it was like, I think Mater Dei, Matt Barkley started as a freshman at Mater Dei 15 years ago. But, yeah, now it's a whole new generation.
There's a Leinert at Mater Dei now.
Yeah. Cole Leinert, right?
Yeah.
Matt's son, yeah. Who is it at Mater Dei? They get whoever they want.
Well, they didn't take my kid. He's a big-time surfer. He should have been, I don't know if Mater Dei
he went to the right.
surfer.
Your son went to the right school, though.
He is a surfing legend.
Out of bounds. Oh, it's just going to be a touchback. It was inbounds, but into the end zone, so touchback comes out. Yeah. Now, Connor doesn't do sailing, right? That's Johnny.
No, Johnny's the
sailor.
Yeah, I sound like the most pretentious family father in the world. What
but you don't push him into it. It's like because you're telling me. I thought you were goofing. Yeah. You're like, oh, Johnny's going sailing. I'm like, yeah,
it's
Jeff.
His fourth year. He's
no, but he enjoys it, right?
He loves it. He's a sailor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then my Mr. Pretentious, my 6-year-old, is a world-class golfer. But
the Lukester.
Luke, yeah, and then
listen, you had him playing with lightsabers from the age of 2. Of course, he was going to go to golf.
He's really good.
From the 20, the Redlands Terriers trying to muster some resistance here. Martinez throws, nearly picked off again by Sam Green. Green, when he saw the end zone, he saw nobody in front of him. He thought he had another pick 6.
Oh, Green, that was horrible. I'm going to call your dad tonight and tell you that shit was right in your hands. Hit him in a bad spot, right in the hands.
I had to jump up a little bit for him. Come on, he already has 1 pick 6. What are you going to do, Jeff?
He should have got a second one.
Don't get Marv Marinovich on me here.
Oh man, come on, Bob Green. Stick them on those hands of your son.
2nd and 2. 4 receivers in the formation. Luke Butler to the bottom of your screen for Redlands. Scarborough to the top of your screen. Throw to Butler, in and out of his hands, incomplete. 3rd down.
Give that guy some stickum. Do you remember as a kid, everybody would have stickum? Did you guys ever play the flag football on the street and we'd spray Tough Skin on our hands?
We would take glue sticks.
Yes!
Glue sticks. Yeah, because Lester Hayes, right?
Yes,
Remember Lester Hayes?
Yeah, we used to spray Tough Skin on our hand, but then you could never get it off. There was no soap on the planet that could get Tough Skin off your hands.
Palomalu coming on the blitz. They pick him up. Martinez has a man downfield, and in and out of his hands, incomplete. Intended for Tyson Gaines. Gaines, a young freshman, had an opportunity there to make a play. Wasn't able to do so. That's got to be tough.
There was nobody within 30 yards of Gaines.
He catches it, he's gone.
I don't even think anybody knew where he was. He must have been hiding out. I mean, there is nobody near him. So we've had 3 drops in a row.
See, and these are the things Coach Stengel can go on film next year and this week and say, okay, the score didn't look bad, but if we make this, and that's kind of what Jason McMains did from last week's game to this week's game. We're driving down the field, we don't finish a drive, we turn the ball over, and they've improved this week. So I think that's what Coach Stengel's going to have to focus on. It's a long way to go, still in the first half. We've seen crazier things happen. Kick gets away, and Simile Flores picks it up at about the 47 and try to dance a little bit. And he will dance, 40, 35, and down he goes at the 33-yard line. Marion with the tackle.
Flores is going to be really tired.
So about 27-yard kick, a return of 14 yards.
I mean, if you just count the yards he's run like 500 yards. They've just been all over the place.
He's just so fluid and swift, He's like those guys who can just dribble through anything. We're talking about picking up the dribble.
Very, very smooth.
We saw that last year. He had to adjust to a new quarterback this year. So a flag on the play against King. Ball comes back to King territory. Well, right to midfield, so right at the 50-yard line.
A holding call.
That Wolf logo at midfield, newly installed turf. Little misdirection again. That's Monreal up to about the 41-yard line in Redlands territory, so about a 9-yard gain there.
I would say that's more of an Arctic wolf.
It is, huh?
It does look Arctic.
There are all these wolf things now on streaming, so you got to be careful. Which wolf are you picking, right? Now, what's the new one? Is what the Game of the Dragon or something?
The new Game of Thrones.
Yeah, the Dragon.
House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon.
Did you watch it first episode?
I'm not. I'm more of a Sopranos, Wire kind of guy. My brother and sister are both heavily into Game of Thrones. I'm not into a lot of that medieval stuff. 2nd and short. Gant keeps it. Good fake. He'll have the first down. Still on his feet and is ridden down from behind inside the 30-yard line, about the 27-yard line.
I'm really having a hard time with Gant because I really think he hands off stuff. He's really, really deceptive.
Maddox Gutierrez rides him down at the 27-yard line. Another 14-yard pickup. Sticks move up again. I mean, it's interesting because when we were talking, I was talking to Coach McMains. He talked about, Harris, he's gone for the season, and you were a little bit upset. But, I mean, Keon Gant has stepped up, and he looks every bit the part, at least tonight.
He is fun to watch. He's Tim Tebow-esque, lefty.
And here's the give, hard-running Noah Neal. In at quarterback for King on that play was Joshua Harper.
So am I supposed to say I don't know if I'm allowed to say he's that because I don't know. I mean, what quarterback would you equate him to?
Who, Gant?
Yeah, he's a lefty.
A lot of lefties now. The only lefty I remember when we were kids, Jim Zorn.
Jim Zorn. Loved Jim Zorn.
Was a lefty.
Zorn to Largent.
That's right. 2nd down coming up for King. They lead it big here in the second quarter.
I guess saying Tebow, that's a positive thing. Most people, no, he's a heck of a quarterback.
So they'll move it back, delay on King.
I want to know how you get in the friend zone or the red zone over there.
Well, student, it's just if you're a student.
So if you're a student, no matter what, you get in.
You have to show something. Like there's something on everybody's phone they had to show. I think it's free, but you have to apply for a ticket or whatever.
I really think you and I should do a game from like a student section, right?
That'd
in
be
the
interesting. That would be fun. Maybe when we do Riverside Poly and King, we should do that. Gant with the fake, throws to the outside, incomplete. Ball intended for Blake Bowen on the coverage. David Muratet.
Because you know I'm a man of the people.
Is Pep doing it this game? We should have Pep line up there. We should have Nick Rice go to the friend zone.
Nick Rice, go to the friend zone. Go stand right in the middle of the friend zone.
Nick could use a friend right now.
Yeah, he came solo. He's friendless.
No, but I'm saying, Nick is usually upbeat. He's excited. He's kind of. I was a little worried about Nick.
I am. I'm always worried.
He looked
about
a little
Nick
blue today. I'm not just talking about his shirt.
I want to get him in the friend zone.
Third and 12 from the 29. Gant over the middle. Complete to Galvin Riker. Riker still fighting. Finally taken down by Muratet inside the 10. So about a 21-yard pickup there. Sticks move up.
At halftime, we're going to have our friend, the president, is going to be here at halftime. President of the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame, Jerry Hurley.
Jerry Hurley is your friend, and Stan Morrison is my friend.
That makes him
your
your friend.
And they're friends.
They're friends.
What's that from the Puffy song? Why don't you get your friends, and I'll get my friends, and we'll all be friends. 1st and 10. Here's the toss to the outside to Neal dancing. Oh, goes through a tackle. Neal finally brought down, and a flag comes in on the play. Making the tackle for Redlands was Quentin Willis, but coming down the smokestack was Eamon Lockett. I thought he had him dead to rights. Nice play there by Neal to get around him.
He moved like a matador. Watch this.
So here comes Lockett,
Wow.
who's a pretty sure-handed tackler, and Neal gets by him, and then down he goes inside the 5-yard line.
But the flag's coming back.
Actually, that wasn't a Puffy. That was a Notorious B.I.G. song when he says that,
yeah.
right?
Look, there's the friend zone right there. We need to get Nick Rice right in the middle
It's
of
the red zone. It's the red zone.
The red
you
zone.
crack me up when you say friend zone, but it is the red zone. It is the student zone for Martin Luther King High School students. This is the home opener, so they'll be able to do that 4 or 5 more times.
I want to be in the friend zone every time we come. I'm going to go over there and say hello to him.
So the penalty moves the ball back to the 15-yard line. So it'll still be 1st and goal. They'll just move the ball back to the 15. Now the whistle.
There's going to be complaints that I said that called it the friend zone.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
everybody will know what you're talking about. There'll be complaints, but they'll be underneath their breath. They know what you mean.
They seem like friends. I mean, everybody's there. Coach McMains. He's got. I saw him right before the game, and I noticed that he had shaved his freshly shorn head. Because day of the game, you got to shave your head. I shaved my head today.
Yeah, I was.
He's pointing toward the snack bars. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, that is where the snack bar is. Please go get food.
So timeout on the field. I believe King called that
I
timeout.
believe so.
Look at the huddle. Bob Stangl. Bob Stangl Jr. His family is coaching royalty. Okay, we know about his dad.
Okay.
Longtime head coach at Notre Dame.
There's more?
He was a coach at Sunnyvale, Mount San Jacinto. And but the job he wanted, we found out,
Was Ramona.
Ramona.
He grew up right down the street. I mean, literally around the block where the YMCA was. Coach Stengel grew up there, and he said his dad always wanted the coaching job, and he gets it after he's already.
They offered it to him after.
Yeah,
Yeah.
after.
We like to give him a shout out as well.
Back to action. King football. Simile Flores to the top of your screen. They'll just give the ball right up the middle to Neal. Neal carrying tacklers with him all the way down to about the 6-yard line where he's finally tackled.
Number 25, Noah Neal Jr.
Clock continues to move.
About 7 yards on the play. 2nd and goal.
How about Neal doing the tough mudding? It's a great combination. You have Gant, who can throw like the air up with footballs, and now you have that north-south guy in Noah Neal Jr. Option, Gant keeps it. And Gant, there was contact at about the 10, and he kept going till he was down at the 5. Third down coming up. Another look at it. So here's the option. He wheels around. First shot at him was Patrick Palafox. So they marked him to the 6.
These guys are pretty elusive. Like when Rocky was trying to catch that chicken.
Was that in 1 or 2?
That was 2, I believe.
Because, yeah, Mickey was still alive in that one. Jesse Monreal to the top of your screen. Gant, RPO. Gant into the end zone. Is he in? Touchdown. Keon Gant, he's thrown for 1, and he's run for 1. And the red zone getting excited here at Martin Luther King High on Van Buren and Wood.
Look at, they're all waving at us. I told you, they're friends.
So check that. Gant has thrown for 2.
You think they'd let me go crowd surf?
So 2 by air, 1 by land. I'm sure they would.
How cool would that be?
We should work that out for the poly game.
Let's see him lifting this 300 pounds.
D'Aquila with the PAT. And it makes it 48-7. We're not to the half yet, Jeff.
It's not the fourth quarter? Holy smokes. Do you think they could lift me? That'd be awesome. All the crowd surf.
I'm sure they could. They're young guys. They'll all want to lift. That's the whole thing. Even if they can't, they won't admit they can't.
But what if I drop? What if I fall and hit
I know. You're still an Alvord employee, so there's liability stuff.
I don't think our director, Scott Brocious, would mind. I mean, he wouldn't care if I got hurt.
Listen, Scott's all about the bid. He will commit to the bid if it gets,
But they'll throw me over the top or something.
We'll start at the top. We'll help them hand you down.
That'd be awesome. All right, we'll work on it. Let's get the principal involved. I'm going to crowd surf sometime this year. If you want to crowd surf me, reach out.
Via back with Scarborough. Here's Scarborough from the 8. Up through the middle of Scarborough. He's got some space. Can he get a block? One man to beat, and he beats him. 92 yards. Pay dirt for Scarborough. No laundry that I can see.
Oh, there's laundry.
Oh, there is? Is that
what color is that flag?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not a yellow flag. It's hard to track.
Why are they using?
Oh, that one. No. So now there's one that's yellow here.
Oh. I don't know if that's regulation laundry. Let's see what they call.
Yeah, it's going to go against Redlands. It'll come back. Well, listen, I'm going to text Alan Zinsmeister at halftime because he'll tell me if there was a bad block or not. Let's watch this again.
What a great run, though, Scarborough.
So here's Scarborough. He's already bought one back today. Probably right there is where it is. There it is. I think that was the hold on the outside there. So still a pretty good return. It'll get close to midfield for Redlands. Their best field position in a while. We were talking about it before the game. Julian Scarborough reminds me of our youth. Joey Scarborough had that hit with the Greatest American Hero theme.
I could sing it for you.
I'm sure you can. Well, Seinfeld helped a lot of people. So from the 35, Redlands will take over. They'll try to punch it into the end zone before the end of the half. Could give them a lift. Remember, King gets the ball to start the second half. They won the toss and deferred. Martinez looking to air it out, and the ball's loose. Recovered by King. I think that was Butler who fell on it.
It's a no flag in a play. I thought he threw a flag, but he threw his bean bag.
So Dixon with the recovery.
Hey, what a great play there. What a phenomenal way to strip the ball there.
That was Butler who recovered it.
Yeah.
Trust your own eyes. So that 33, another turnover. We had the pick six earlier, and that's another turnover for Redlands here. And now King will look to put it in the end zone before the half. Low snap. Gant picks it up. A little bit of a broken play. He'll get a couple of yards. Not much doing there.
Well, if you're Jason McMains, you got to be really happy right now. Holy smokes.
Particularly with what he said, and when we were talking, he said, hey, I was happy with the effort, and we need to be more efficient. We need to be a little cleaner on offense. Felt good that they were competitive against a good team, but if you're Redlands, it is a process.
It is.
They've lost 18 of their last 19. Now, they got a lot of experience last year when they played a bunch of young guys, and this is really week, it's week 0 for them. They didn't get a chance to play last week. So they'll take this film and they'll build on it going forth. And Coach Stangel's pedigree, who he's worked for and who worked for him. So the situation will improve at Redlands. A little bit of confusion for King, and down goes Gant at about the 30-yard line. And that was probably what Coach McMains was talking about in terms of the execution. Now, listen, you're up 40 points, so it's a little bit different now than it was last week. But that's why coaches get gray hair, right? Because
exactly.
When you're up 30, you do the same thing, and then all of a sudden you're down 6, and you haven't learned that lesson.
You have to be efficient.
And not to be clear, Keon Grant's been great tonight. I want to point that out.
Yes, he has. Let's blame the other 10 guys around him.
See, I don't think that was his fault, though. I think somebody zigged when they should have zagged. Gant to throw on 3rd. He'll load it up, throw it down the field, and a touchdown. Blake Bowen, the freshman, reels it in. 3rd touchdown pass for Keon Gant. Have a day, Keon.
Holy smokes, what a great half from this King team. I wasn't too sure what to expect because, you didn't know anything about Redlands other than they were young, and a tough loss last week for King, but they sure seem to have learned from their mistakes. And really, they're putting on a show here offensively.
Last week was a little frustrating for the coaches and for the players, a game they felt they should have won, and they're taking a little bit of their frustration out on Redlands, I think, tonight. Dokilla pumps it through. He's an interesting story, soccer player, joining the football team. I know you love kickers, Jeff.
I love them. They're my favorite guys. They always have great stories.
And again, the offensive line giving him some time, but he makes some time, moving his feet, and gets it down the field to Bowen, who's breaking open. 55 points for King here in the first half. I know that's a record. That's got to be,
It better be. Okay, we're going to say it's another record. So he broke 2 records. Well, no matter, it's the modern day record. If you're listening, somebody listening.
I'm sure there's some King historians out there.
There's got to be. Reach out to Tony Macy, the longtime athletic director.
Mush probably knows.
Mush would probably know as well. Rich Martinez, he's been here since day one. He's only 86 years old, still teaching.
D'Aquila, Scarborough from the 5. He's dangerous. We've seen already tonight. And he dances out of bounds at about the 20-yard line right in front of Chip George.
Great Chip George. Was on the CIF state championship team over at Norte Vista Baseball. He played basketball, baseball, and football, and used to sleep on my floor when we were little kids. And
he's now the principal, right?
He's the vice principal in charge of athletics.
Oh, okay.
But one of my dearest friends in the entire world, love him. Saw his parents here tonight.
Oh, that's wonderful.
His son is playing. Son number 13 for the Wolves, plays special teams.
From the 20, 1st and 10. Terriers just trying to get something going. Look, one offensive drive would be great, something they can build on. The give to Villa up the middle, and he's wrestled down by Andrew Dixon. McMains really liked Dixon. He kind of forced him to duty because of an injury. Dominic Kruger, I thought that might happen today. He's a senior coming back, a little banged up, and Dixon has kind of stepped into his spot as a sophomore. And there he is, Dixon making the play, driving down Villa.
Wow, they get that other young man back. They're going to be really tough.
Clock turning, under a minute to play in the second quarter. 55-7, King on top. Martinez threw his hands right into Villa, and then a very rude how do you do. A couple of guys getting there. Christian Hicks on the play. Corey Daniel also stuck his nose in there for the Wolves.
Snap looks like it was tipped. Caught by number 7, Alex Villa, who was brought down by the entire King High School football team. Might have even been some coaches in on that. We're not really sure.
I think Redlands will be content to let the clock expire and go in and talk it over. Third down coming up for the Terriers.
Here's my question for you before half. Redlands University or Redlands High School, which came first, I wonder? They're both dogs. You got the Bulldogs and the Terriers. There has to be some connection there.
55-7 at the half, Jeff Gorham. You know, you knew King would be up for it because their new field home opener. I did not think it would go like this.
No, I don't think anybody walking into this stadium today thought it was going to go like this, and it went all the way in favor of Coach McMain and his Wolves. They played an outstanding first half, the best first half we've seen from a King team in many years.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns from Assembly Flores in the first half, 3 passing touchdowns for Keon Gant. He also ran for 1, and we saw Bowen run for 1 and catch 1. So they've been spreading it out. A lot of scoring to go in the first half, 55-7. Let's throw it down to Nick Rice. He's got Jason McMains right now.
All right, guys, we're here with Coach Jason McMains. That was an incredible first half by you guys.
No, we're really happy with how we're playing. Offensively, we're real efficient. Yeah, there's some things that we got to, continue to work on. But starts with our defense, the pick six. They definitely are the tone setter for our program and our team. But I'm real pleased with how, we're playing offense, defense. Obviously, there's some things with special teams that we got to fix and correct.
I'd say it's a little easier to score points on this new turf with all the practice you've done with it, and now in the game time, it's got to feel pretty good.
Oh, we love it, man. It's we love the new field, we love the atmosphere, we love the the red zone section that our admin got for us, ASB. So you can feel the energy, the kids are playing up to it, so we really love it.
Great job, Coach.
Thank you so much.
All right, that was Coach Jason McMains. It's the second most points King has scored in the last 2 decades, and they did that in just the first half. Incredible game from the guys, and we'll see if the Wolves can keep it going in the second half. Guys, back to you.
55-7, the score at the half. Thanks, Nick Rice and Jason McMains, for that. Jeff Gorham, Gazelle Hassan with you up in the booth. We got a special guest sliding in. Jeff, I'm going to slide out and let you have your conversation. The president of the Riverside Hall of Fame, right?
The president. It's always nice to see this gentleman, if I can call him that. He's the great Jerry Hurley. How you doing today, Jerry?
Well, I don't know how great I am, but I'm great being here with you, Jeff.
Well, how fun was that first half? I mean, there was questions coming into tonight's game. King lost a tough one last week to Roosevelt, but I'll tell you, they've been hitting on all cylinders. They put up 2 nickels, 55-7 against a Redlands team, very young. But what did you think of that first half?
I tell you what a spectacular setting in this brand new stadium. Oh my goodness, the colors and the fans are in sync with what the team is doing. It's great to see. I'm impressed, so impressed with the King quarterback. Boy, he snaps that ball and it takes off.
And he is a backup. Their starting quarterback hurt his knee.
Yes.
A couple weeks ago in a scrimmage. He stepped in and has done a great job for such a young man, and very versatile, as we could see in the first.
I got the full rundown. I've been sitting with a great gentleman and his wife, Getty George.
We were just talking about Getty and his wife.
Unbelievable. Talk about one of the great families in Riverside, and Chip George, the
assistant principal.
Yeah, that's right.
And he was, we were saying he used to spend the night at my house when we were kids. He used to sleep on the floor between my brother and I. And, Chip is one of the dearest friends I've had my entire life, so it's great. It's great the camaraderie we have here.
I tell you what, Riverside's the greatest big, small city in America. And I was talking with Chip's wife, and he works 29 hours a day, 9 days a week,
yes, he does.
Being one of the best. And talk about the challenge for athletic directors during COVID. How do you keep all the coaches and all the players and all the fans, and how do you keep them together and get them motivated for when it's time for all of us as a society to break out?
Well, I'll tell you what, he did a great job in hiring Jason McMains. It's one guy that you can look at and you say, hey, Chip, he's done a great job. Overall, remember, Tony Macy was here as a longtime athletic director.
Yes.
And Chip has really taken that mantle. and proceeded to go even farther than what we had seen the first 20 years here at King.
Sure. It's amazing, and it's great. Occasionally I pay taxes in Riverside, and it's great to see. I hope no one's listening to that. I'll have a knock on the door tonight. It's great to see the city fathers and the Board of Education putting the money into the facility. What a beautiful facility. Anyone who's in Riverside, come out to see a game. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, they did. In fact, they redid Ramona High School this year, so they have a brand new turf as well.
Yes.
King this year, and then next year, John W. North is going to get their stadium
absolutely
redone, and that's, just wonderful. But let's talk about the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame.
Wow.
That's what we all want to hear about, because it's been on hiatus for the last couple of years, hasn't it?
Absolutely. Our last class was in 2019, and we were having regular executive board meetings until March of 2020, and then March of 2020
something happened.
Yes, apparently, and we were through with the virus, but the virus wasn't through with us, and so we've been like most other organizations, we've been down, but we've just started picking up on our executive board meetings in the last few months, and we're gearing towards May of 2023. We're not ready to make a definite announcement yet, but we will honor the class of 2020, and now it's going to be the class of 2023, and we've got some great people that we want to honor.
Yeah, speaking of which, those that we're honoring, maybe you can go through some of the lists. I know Brenda Martinez is one of those athletes, a long-time UC Riverside runner, world-class runner, but name some of the other people if you can, off the top of your head, who's going in this year?
That's a pretty big top for me to find. Jeff,
I know we have John Tibbles is coming in.
Well,
as well.
John Tibbles is going to be one of our President's Award recipients, and John is one of the great athletic directors in the city of Riverside. And in fact, their Hall of Fame, Ramona's Hall of Fame, is one of the top ones.
It's incredible. My brother's in it. I'm not for some reason. That's crazy. But how?
I heard you lost that step that you never had. Is that true?
But Jerry, like you said, things are kind of coming around again, and there's a buzz going around the city of Riverside, and we'd love to have the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame be a part of our local broadcast here at Riverside TV.
Love it.
How can fans reach out to be a part of this great organization?
Well, we're getting our social presence online. We've been down a little bit, and so just give us a little bit of time. In another month or so, we'll be having announcements and everything. We're going to be honoring, and so the word will get out. And I do appreciate your willingness to allow us to say a few words every now and then. You're one of the great boosters in Riverside. Well, in addition to John Tibbles, we're going to be honoring Stan Morrison with the Chuck Kane Award, and we have an Inspirational Athlete Award from the UCR girls basketball team, Janet Otto.
Janet Otto, whose great story a couple years ago.
Terrific.
And she was diabetic and dealt with that through her entire career.
Yes.
A phenomenal player and a great ambassador for the sport of basketball at UC Riverside.
Great supportive mom too. It's been wonderful. So we're going to be reaching out to them. We're going to induct Bob Bomar, who was a fast pitch legend.
The best in the world at one time.
6'7", 265, gentle giant. We've got 2 ball fields named in his honor in Riverside, and played for the Long Beach Nighthawks for a while. Talk about, back in the day in the late 60s and 70s. I'm sorry, he passed away in 1968, but up until then, he was on championships teams in Riverside. We're going to be honoring Vanessa Zarnecki, Poly High School Athlete of the Year in 1998, and Olympian. Is she an Olympian?
That's right.
Played for the Greek softball team.
That is right.
Wonderful. Brenda Martinez, as you mentioned, UCR, great Olympic track athlete.
I used to see her running up in Big Bear. We would go up there with the family, and we'd see Brenda Martinez up there running around. In fact, we stopped and talked to her. But, the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame's been around a while now, hasn't it?
Correct. Right.
And how many recipients do we have? If you go downtown, there's on the corner of 14th and Magnolia, there is a beautiful setting there that has all of the recipients. Can you give us a number if you can think offhand of how many people we have?
Sure. We've got 111 inductees. We've got 107 plaques because we honored the Kistler family several years ago.
That's right.
And so we've got 111 inductees in the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame, and those are the primarily 2/3 of those are athletes. And athletes, contributors, and coaches over the years. And we're going to be bringing in 2 dynamite coaches this next go around in Rich Stalder and Rich Graves.
Wonderful man. In fact, I was talking to the vice principal at Norte Vista where I work, and she reached out to me and she said, "Are you friends with Coach Stalder?" I said, "Yeah, I am. Yeah. And she wanted me to tell him that he changed her life. And those are the stories that we always get from these coaches.
Yes.
It's not always on the field. It's also a lot in the classroom, and that's what makes those guys Hall of Famers.
That's exactly right. Coach Graves at Poly and at Martin Luther King,
Yes.
and then Rich Stalder at North High School. Yeah, and they were coaches to the great players, but they treated everyone the same. And so if you were the last person on the bench, you got treated the same way as Alvin Davis did at North High School.
That's right. Mr. Mariner. He's the greatest Mariner of all time.
Absolutely.
In fact,
Yeah.
he was an assistant coach up here at King with Graves when he started when
Wow.
Graves came over to coach baseball. Alvin Davis was his assistant coach.
Wonderful. We're also, as a contributor, Dr. Ron Ellis from Cal Baptist University.
The president of the university. What has he done over there, for gosh sake?
Well, they're going to be a legitimate Division I entry. The NCAA just allowed them to be, full entry,
participant,
and one of the great campuses in certainly in the Inland Empire, but in all of California. Beautiful campus.
Yeah, I suggest anybody that lives in Riverside, take a drive over on the weekend and
Right.
just walk the facilities and see what they're doing over there. The baseball, softball fields are phenomenal. A great brand new soccer pitch and a phenomenal basketball arena, which is better than almost anybody on the West Coast.
Yes. And perhaps we'll have an announcement to make regarding that event center. That would seem to be a great place to hold a future banquet, perhaps.
Well, Coach.
Boy, talk about a tease, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Well, Coach, I know later on this season you and I are talking, and we'd love to be able to get a couple red jackets out here for a couple games.
Absolutely.
We'd love, in the Hall of Fame, if you're a recipient, you have a red blazer.
Yes.
And if you do come out to a game or here watching on Riverside TV, we'll have stories all season long about the Riverside Hall of Fame. As I am a lucky member to be part of the board here with you. And I'll tell you, things are looking up.
We were honored to honor your dad, too.
Oh, yeah.
One of the all-time great coaches and human beings in Riverside.
I will have to agree. I miss him every day, and it's a nice memory that you bestowed on him to put him on the wall of distinction over there, and I appreciate it. And I will always support the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame because not only because of you, but because of my love for the city of Riverside and all the people that have touched my life, and I'd love to be able to give back. And you've done that so eloquently as the president.
You're very kind.
And you are the most respected man I know, and I'm looking forward to announcing some big things here in the future.
Absolutely. We're all standing on someone's shoulders, and you're a great goodwill ambassador for the city of Riverside in sports. You know more about Riverside sports than just about anybody I know.
Oh, it's because my dad used to make me. He said, "You're going to this football game this week. You're going to that baseball game, and you're sitting next to me
and
on
you
the
went
bench."
kicking and screaming. I'm sure.
I was the gym rat. Well, he is the great Jerry Hurley. We have a score right now at halftime, 55-7, as we go in to the second half. Jerry Hurley, Jeff Gorham. Thank you again, Jerry, for all your time and all of the things you do for the
Thanks
city
so
of Riverside.
much. Go Riverside TV.
Riverside TV. We'll be right back here on Riverside TV.
we're having so much fun with Jerry Hurley. We got caught off guard. Here's Elijah Simley Flores, and he caught Redlands off guard, but they're ridden him down inside the 30-yard line. That was Lockett making the tackle. Redlands wants a flag. Let's see if they get it. And there is a flag on King, and all come back.
Yeah, we were talking to Jerry Hurley. We have mutual friends. Great Stan Morrison, longtime athletic director at UCR.
Also at Santa Barbara, he was an AD and longtime basketball coach. Pacific, USC, San Jose State.
What a great guy, though. Jerry Hurley, phenomenal human being.
It seemed like you guys were having fun. So the Riverside Sports Hall of Fame, get that going again.
We're getting it going. We've got some big announcements in the next couple weeks, and they are going to show up to some Riverside TV games wearing their red blazers, signifying their Riverside Sport Hall of Famers.
So new quarterback in, Joshua Harper in at quarterback here as we start the second half. Give up the middle after about a 2-yard gain. Justin Allen on the carry for King. Second down coming up. Got up to about the 32-yard line. So Jason McMain's kind of getting some other guys opportunities to see what they can do. Robert George split out to the top of your screen. In the slot on the near side is Galvin Riker. Now he flexes. Gives the ball up the middle. That's Allen again, and not much. Third down.
And I believe the clock will run here. So we're in the second half. What a nice first half we saw of clean football from Martin Luther King.
Talk about efficiency. That's what Coach McMains was shooting for. If nothing else, they were efficient. Got the ball, they scored the ball. Harper throwing over the middle, incomplete. And a flag comes in late. On the play defensively was Jacob Marion. The receiver was Galvin Riker. We'll sort out the flag.
Let's see, they're going to call holding.
So it looks like they're going to reward Keon Grant for a job well done. 3 passing touchdowns and a running touchdown in the first half. His day looks to be done. And the foul will be whistled on Redlands, and they'll move the sticks up. Ball to the 41 of King. And looks like you are correct, and the clock will continue to move. Harper with the give. Down goes the ball carrier, Allen. Solofa Lutu comes in and makes the play. Sophomore defensive lineman. He's a big-time guy for Redlands as well. Didn't call his name much in the first half. Very active along that defensive line. Bob Stangl Jr. very high on him. Feels he has an opportunity perhaps to play beyond high school. Another look at number 99. He had just drew a B on the football and went right to the ball carrier.
Speaking of playing at the next level, you and I and the Riverside TV gang can be down at Riverside Ramona on Saturday as RCC opens their season.
Porter to the outside, incomplete. Riker, the intended receiver. Third down coming up.
Yeah, you and I will be on the call from Riverside Ramona as RCC's getting a renovations this year.
So there are. So what you find out? You find anything out? I haven't been able to find anything out.
The field is just unplayable. So they've
and it's been for. According to Coach Kraft, it's been for a while, and I believe when he says it, he didn't say things lightly. I'm not going to say Coach Kraft is close to the vest, but he's not a guy that shares a lot with the media. And last year, he was very outspoken about the conditions at RCC.
He's one of those guys I don't like to talk to. He frightens me.
Third down. Porter, intended receiver on the play, was Jaden Mosley. Overthrows him, incomplete, fourth down. I mean, Tom Kraft's never going to give you the warm fuzzies, but he's fun to listen to talk about football.
Yes.
You get him talking about football, and he's,
I don't think he's fun to talk about anything else, though.
I think unless you get to know him. I mean,
But you really think?
we don't know him off the field at all.
I know, but I think he's scary.
Perhaps he puts on, Cheech and Chong records and laughs hysterically when he's not around his players.
That's what I would do.
Porter to kick. Puts his foot into it. Takes a King bounce. Will roll dead inside the 20-yard line at about the 19. 46-yard kick, no return. And Redlands will get a chance on offense. 7:06 to play third quarter. Heck, by the time 7:06 came around in the first quarter, we already had 21 points on the board.
And next week we will have La Sierra. We're going to get to see the Eagles, the new look Eagles, who are 1-0.
1-0, they got to win.
And they're going to be playing Campbell Hall next
West Hollywood.
next Friday night at Norte Vista High School. And then we will be at RCC versus Mount San Jacinto at Ramona at noon. Look at that. There's the friend zone. They just showed a video of the friend zone.
Villa on the ground, trying to get outside, maybe back to the original line of scrimmage.
I'm telling you, Nick Rice needs to get up in the red zone and crowd surf.
It is Burning Man this week, so
is it Burning Man going on?
I think everybody's going to Burning Man.
Have you ever been to Burning Man?
No, I have no desire to do that, Jeff.
What exactly? Don't you drive out in the middle of the desert
It's in the
somewhere?
middle of nowhere. You got to pay people to. I mean, I'm not a big camping guy. Maybe you are.
No.
You got to pay people to go hang out on a thing of dirt, and
Is it like a
there's
little? It's like
activities
Death
and
Valley
crafts.
or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not an arts and crafts guy, man.
Is there music and stuff too?
I think there's music. Yeah. 2nd and 10 from the 19. Flinging it down the field, one-on-one coverage. Flag comes in. Intended receiver was Luke Butler. He was jostling down the field. Looked like it was Dalen Anderson. Got tangled up with him a little bit. Flag comes in, and it'll be on the Wolves. So first down as the ball moves to the 34-yard line for Redlands.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Retzlaff brothers, our quarterback.
They're back, yeah. Who's the kicker now at RCC?
I don't know. It's not Chavez.
Ricardo Chavez, he moved on, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
1st and 10, Redlands from the 34. Little confusion and whistles and flags fly in. Bob Stangl in his first year, taking over from Mark McFarland. Jim Walker was there for so long, 25 years. The long blue line of the Redlands Terriers. You got to look at the red zone yet again.
The red zone. I'm sending Nick Rice over there.
And Coach Stangl has said, that one of his big influences, obviously his dad, but he mentioned Coach Walker, and we're getting a lot of, meaning Coach Stangl saying we're going to bring back a lot of the stuff that happened under Coach Walker. Bobbled and caught at about the 34-yard line. The receiver making the catch, Ethan Oliveras. So 2nd down coming up for the Terriers. Nice job by Martinez jumping it off. You may remember Dawson's older brother, Taylor, played at Corona Centennial, later at the University of Nebraska.
That's right. I was just going to mention that. Is that the same Martinez?
Younger brother.
Yes.
Complete to the 40-yard line and punched out at about the 42.
Our friend Mike Stauffer would be happy that.
Tyson Gaines makes the catch, tackled on the play by Cypher Schnackenberg.
Our guy, Coach Stauffer, is now over at Centennial coaching the linebackers. Mr. Nebraska.
3rd down and 2. Martinez dancing now. He's under pressure. Still alive, looking down the field. And there's Sam Green, little do-si-do. Down at about the 38-yard line. Sam Green boxing the quarterback and taking him down.
It looked like he was pulled off of the hook with vaudeville. Look at this. I mean, he gets his hands on it around his waist. Gives him a good yank. Watch this. Great tackle.
I just flew in today, and boy, are my arms tired. And then down he goes. I'm jealous of Taylor Martinez because he got to play when Keith Jackson was still doing games.
That's right.
And so he got probably Taylor Martinez from Nebraska, the granddaddy of them all. So 4th down coming up. Back to receive is Derek Kahn for King. Jacob Marion, the punter. Standing at his 23. Line of scrimmage is the 37. This is a good kick. And fumbled. Ball came down at the 28, still loose. Still loose. First shot at it was King. That about a 34-yard kick in the air, and Redlands comes away with it. Holding it aloft like a trophy is Luke Butler. Like Anthony Michael Hall in 16 Candles. Good shot from our end zone cam. King has done a nice job getting pressure on the punter, but I got to give credit to Marion. He's really been able to get them away even under duress. Special teams has been a big plus for Redlands. They've been pretty good on the specials, and they get a turnover here. So 2:05 to play third quarter. They'll tee it up in King territory. So watch the top of your screen because that's Scarborough and Gaines together. Martinez looking right at the direction. He pumps. He puts it in the air for Scarborough. And nice catch coming down. Wow. Schnackenberg was all over him. He hauled it in and brings it down inside the 10. A 28-yard completion. Catch and run.
There's the pedigree of that arm. That was a great throw here. Good pump fake.
Scarborough, believe it or not, I'm making this catch. First and goal. Martinez rolling, throwing, touchdown. Luke Butler on the reception for the Terriers, who find pay dirt. Touchdown, Redlands.
You've got the red zone in the background. They need the thunder sticks. That's what they need to do.
PAT coming off the foot of Eric Napolitano, Jr. for the Terriers. And the kickers have been spot on today, Jeff. It's been a good day for the kickers. And it's 55-14.
Every day is a good day if you're a kicker. You know, they live longest. They're the longest living guys of all football players.
Well, you can play the longest for sure.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Tom Brady playing until 46. And George Blanda played well into his 40s, didn't he, as a kicker?
Well into his 70s, for God's sake. But they have the longest lifespan. If you took kickers and punters, those guys live the longest unless they live hard. Our friend Frank Corral, he might just go on forever. A local legend here.
Corral got to kick in a Rose Bowl, in a Super Bowl, and at RCC Stadium, didn't he?
Three of the best things right there. Wheelock, I think you look back and go, Wheelock's my favorite. He led the NFL in scoring. The NFL.
Didn't he play in a Super Bowl at the Rose Bowl?
He did.
With the Rams?
He did. He also played small forward at Norte Vista High School.
Kickoff. Here's the return. This is Dayton Ford. Flag on the play. And Ford goes down at the 34-yard line. But let's sort it all out. A flag came in right before he made his cut.
And Ford and Flores, those guys are juking all over the place. I'm going to ask Coach McMains what he does to get those guys all over. I mean, they're got them in a pen, and they're throwing rocks at them. You got to.
Am I dating myself to say show them a lot of Shakira videos? Probably dating myself saying that.
But seriously, what do you do? I mean, it's like dodgeball. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. What is McMain's doing? Look at this guy. They're dancing all over the place.
So they move the ball back to the 20-yard line, 1st and 10 for King.
I'm going to say, what do you do, Jason McMains? I just throw rocks at the guys, and they have to dodge them.
Harper is going to give the ball up the middle, and it's one of those JV guys, so we don't have a 43 on our roster. So a 5-yard pickup. Clock will continue to move.
Hey, I was number 43.
Into the third quarter.
Maybe he's a fan. That's a great number. You know what the 43 means? Love you. That's what my mom said. So that's why I was 43.
Roberts pounding it up the middle. Runs into Lockett, among others. Lockett was there. Hunter Whitnian was there. Maddox Gutierrez got a hand in as well for Redlands.
Looks like they're selectively stopping this clock. I'm not too sure why, but.
So the offsetting personal fouls. This one should be the last play of the third quarter. And that's the end of the third quarter, 55-14. King very much in control. We'll flip sides of the field. Now, our intrepid reporter, Nick Rice, was going to go try and track down Jim Walker, who's in the building tonight, longtime head coach at Redlands. Unfortunately, he's already left the building. He left a little early to beat the traffic. So kudos to Nick trying to track that interview down. That would have been great for us. Of course, Coach Walker was the head man at Redlands between 1992 and 2017. And when I talked to Coach Stengel this week, he said, yeah, we're going to do a lot of the Jim Walker stuff because he installed a lot of the traditional stuff. Like we're talking about the red zone, all that stuff at Redlands, the long blue line, that's all Jim Walker stuff.
It is. And Jim Walker, I mean, a legendary coach, Hall of Famer for sure. But, you know, another coach who was at Redlands High School was none other than Jerry Tarkanian. Jerry Tarkanian was a longtime basketball coach at UNLV and was a basketball coach at Riverside City College. But Jerry Tarkanian was also one of the football coaches at Redlands High School when he came out here to the Inland Empire.
That's right. I remember reading that, yes. Was Mulligan with him?
Mulligan came over and was over at RCC.
RCC, I know that.
But yeah, Jerry Tarkanian was a football coach at Redlands High School.
Option. Porter keeps it, and down Porter goes. Tackle will be credited to Quentin Willis. So Harper in at quarterback, makes the fake to Noah Villarreal. And then Harper spun down there. Ball up to the 42-yard line. King comfortably in control. Play action. They'll swing it out where it's complete to Mosley. And Mosley down near the first down marker.
And I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I am going to say it. Watching the Riverside TV, the coach's perspective, we're going to add a little bit of things this week. In fact, we might be adding some new games this upcoming season, and we were talking it could be voted on. So stay tuned Monday if you can go to the Riverside TV YouTube and watch the coach's perspective. We're going to have a couple of announcements I think everybody's going to enjoy.
Villarreal goes down in the backfield rudely. Patrick Palafox, the junior for Redlands, makes a play on the first down, bringing it second down and about 14. Read the play just like we saw Palomalo read a couple of plays in the first half for King. Palafox returns the favor for the Terriers of Redlands. So you got to give credit to Redlands. That was a downer in the first half, but they're coming out. They're still playing hard. They're still churning, going play to play.
They are playing hard, and if you watch the sideline, and I have a tendency as an ex-coach to watch the players, they're all focused and paying attention, so that's a good sign. Being down a bunch, you're still focused on the game. It's great to see.
Porter to midfield, tackled by Quentin Willis, third down coming up. So they marked him just short of midfield, the 49-yard line. Line to get is on the Redlands side of the field. They need to get inside the 45. So call it third and a long 6. Villarreal in the backfield. You've got Mosley split out to the top of your screen. Juarez out there as well. Third down. Porter flings it out, complete to Mosley. He gets the first down. Pushed out of bounds by Jaden Woods.
What a great-looking throw there. Just a couple steps back. Throws a perfect BB there. A great pass.
The Wolves will host Paloma Valley next week, and then we'll have them again on the 9th against Pauley.
Oh, that's the granddaddy.
King
That's the
Pauley.
big one.
Rivalry renewed. Juarez to the top of the screen. Nathan Padilla to the bottom of your screen. Here's the give to Villarreal. Nice little stutter step in the middle of that, and he lunges forward over the 40 to the 38-yard line. Second down coming up.
And next week we have La Sierra, Campbell Hall, so we'll get a look and get to meet the new head coach on Monday.
La Sierra's kind of a sleeping giant to me, Jeff Roney had that nice run for a couple of years there, playing some Roney ball. Robert George at the top of the screen split out. Trips to the far side. Second down. Porter option, and down he goes. That's Lockett, one of the top defenders for Redlands. He ain't stopping. Amaine Lockett just read the play. Makes it a third down. So, it's interesting because your dad was a coach, and you were a coach. Bob Stangel's dad, Bob Sr., very well-known coach in the city of Riverside. But when I was talking to him was interesting. His mom also was a girls' basketball coach.
Get out of here.
So before Coach Stangl took over the football program, the last couple of years, he was the girls' basketball coach as well.
That's cool.
You know who took over for him?
No.
His daughter, Savannah.
Get out.
So there's still a Stangl coaching girls' basketball at Redlands.
That's
Third
pretty
down,
cool.
complete. Trying to surge for the first down is Galvin Riker, but he'll be stopped just short. And the clock continues to move. So fourth down coming up. Let's see what Jason McMains does. He's going to leave the team leave his offense out there. Oh, so they're going to tack on personal foul, roughing the passer. So a first down will push the ball all the way down to the 20-yard line of Redlands. I was talking to Coach Stangl about the difference, and he goes, it's time. It's time for her to take over. They can, she can relate better to the players than I can, and they she's more like they are, so we'll understand each other a little bit better. But he said he enjoyed coaching girls basketball a tremendous amount. He was an assistant coach in the football squad, so didn't have as much time taken up. Here's the give. They've run that play a couple of times and only go for a couple of yards.
Yeah, let's see if we can get one of our camera guys a picture of Stangl standing on the sidelines. I love the tie.
Got the tie.
We need to get a close-up of Coach Stangl.
The big guy, the Servite coach, Troy Thomas. He wears the tie every game. Was at Crespi for a little bit. Coach Thomas played his college football, among other places, at Northridge, at CSUN.
He did.
He finished up at CSUN. Yeah, he's a CSUN alum.
He's back at Servite, isn't he?
Yeah, he was at Crespi for a little bit. He's been back at Servite.
That's right.
They've been good since he got back there. Clock moving. Ball back to the 25. So still a first down, but it'll be 1st and 15. Option. Porter is going to be slung down by Solofa Lutu.
I love the uniforms. They have Terriers on the back. I thought they were names, but I'm blind, and I just realized they're all named Terrier.
I apologize. It's Joshua Harper at quarterback. I've been calling Anthony Porter as a linebacker for King. So instead, Joshua Harper. Harper also doing some of the punting for King on this evening. Fourth quarter, running clock. We're down near 4 minutes to play in regulation. Harper, the give to Villarreal, escapes the first tackle, and he will not escape the second. Tackled at the 25-yard line by Gerardo Howe. Sorry. Kind of cuts in the other direction, plants the foot, and Howe just tracked him all the way and brought him down. Third down.
Look at the red zone still going.
Home opener at your home stadium. Talked about this a little bit in week 1 with Kevin Argamosa about, you can just kind of hang out, right?
Yeah.
You stay at school and hang out until the game's going. You get excited. You build it up.
We go to school till 3:30 now, Gasol.
Yeah.
You don't get out of the parking lot till about 4:15.
Harper rolling, throwing. Did he get it?
I don't know if I'm a big fan of this new state law that high schools start at 8:30 and go till 3:30, for gosh sakes.
Another look. Harper getting some duress, but nice throw under pressure.
Yeah.
And that's a catch. So Redlands calling a timeout. Santoyo Kane with the catch for King with 3:18 to play.
All right. Don't doubt the drought. Extreme drought conditions persist throughout the state of California, so saving water now is more important than ever to protect water supplies into the future. Set up your water-saving efforts by irrigating between the hours of 6 p.m. and 10 a.m. to avoid losses to evaporation. Visit riversidepublicutilities.com/drought for more water-saving tips, tricks, and rebates.
So they put the field goal team out there.
Oh, this is my favorite part right here.
41-yard field goal attempt, Daniel Tequila. Can he do it? Well, it's got the distance, but it will not have the accuracy. Good try. Tequila's an interesting story. Picked up off the soccer team. We remember years ago, maybe, I don't know if you were doing games then, Mason Mapes was one of the kickers for King, and he was a very good kicker. His father, Todd Mapes, is the soccer coach here at Martin Luther King High.
That's right.
And Jason McMains reached out to the soccer team and said, hey, you got any guys? He sent him a couple of guys. They had, I'm guessing it was like an audition type of deal. And Tequila apparently won it, and he's the kid who's never played football before, first year playing football.
I just hope he's likes to tackle, because we know about the pacifist kickers. Kickers are strange birds, though. They are.
They need to be. They're kind of like lefty relief pitchers. And Joe Kelly. So 3:11 to play. 1st and 10 from the 25 for Redlands. After the missed field goal, the Terriers will take over. And they can put it in the end zone here. They can put a positive spin on it and say, hey, we outscored them in the second half. Martinez looks downfield. Complete to the 30. Nice tumbling catch there. Ethan Oliveras First and 10 from the 30. Martinez rolling outside. Still on his feet, throws it downfield. Intended receiver on the play was Tyson Gaines.
And Martinez, though, he definitely has a cannon of an arm there.
Yeah. That's going to be tough. They play in the Citrus Belt. That's no walk in the park, Jeff. Into double coverage. Still a pretty good throw.
Yeah, the old CBL was a juggernaut for football. Wow, look at all the fans showing up here the first night of the season.
Martinez to Scarborough, completed about the 40. He'll dance out of bounds very close to a first down. Well, I mean, Scarborough and Martinez both started as freshmen. We can see why. Even down big here, both still pretty poised, getting out there and getting the reps in, playing hard. Play to play. So 3rd and 1, call it officially at the 40-yard line. Martinez launches downfield. He's got a man, Oliveras, in the air. Nice catch down at the 20. Big gain. 40-yard game there. I'll call it 38. They're going to mark him down at the 23. Man, Martinez has a cannon.
Man, he sure can get the ball
Just
down the
launches
field.
it, gets it out of his hands. And down, they call officially the 23-yard line. 1st and 10. Martinez toward the sideline. He'll just step out of bounds. Now, I guess with the running clock, he thought he was stopping the clock, and now they've stopped the clock, and now, well, Redlands took a timeout. So with the running clock, stepping out of bounds doesn't stop it.
No.
I did want to pass out one last thing, and, you know, Coach Stengel was so generous with his time, as was Coach McMains, to chat about the game. Coach Stengel was on a staff at the University of Utah with Jim Fossil.
Really?
And Fossil later went to the Super Bowl with the Giants, ended up losing. Get a look at the mascot. But he was on a staff. Quarterback Scott Mitchell. Remember Mitchell was the lefty who played for the Lions and for the Dolphins. They had an interesting run at Utah. Did Coach Fossil and Coach Stengel.
That doesn't look like a wolf to me. It's a
No?
vampire. Vampire wolf.
Maybe. Wolves are big now. Yeah, vampires are big too. So 38 seconds to play in regulation at the 30-yard line. 2nd down for Redlands.
Hey, we have 2 games next week. 2, Betty.
2 deodorants. Yeah. We got La Sierra and Campbell Hall.
Yes.
And then we got RCC and Long Beach, right? Is that
San Jacinto.
San Jacinto, not San Jacinto, where Mr. Stengel Sr. coached.
There you go. And you're going to be spending the night at the stately Gorham Manor next
I will.
week.
You're gonna put me down in the back cave.
You're going to be hanging out.
I can't wait to slide down the Gorham. I was about to say the bat poles. The Gorham Library.
Oh, I can't wait to show you around. Take us a while.
2nd down. Here comes the blitz. Escaping is Martinez. Looking to throw. Loses the football. King looks like they got it. Fumble recovered by King, and that'll do it. Good effort by Redlands, kind of hanging in the second half after an explosive first half by King. Another look at that one, Jeff.
Yeah, Martinez just all over, being chased, pursued here. And just a good strip. Watch. That was a great play by
Andrew Dixon. You can tell why McMain's excited about him. And the horn sounds. They have an electronic horn here. 55-14 the final. King over Redlands. Give me some thoughts, Jeff. We'll wait for Nick Rice.
I'll tell you what, I thought King played an outstanding ball game after, losing a tough one last week to a CIF semifinalist in Roosevelt. I think they figured out what they needed to work on. I'll tell you, that first half was an astounding play by the Wolves. Coach McMain's had them going on all cylinders.
And it was like a checklist. He said, listen, we need to be more push up front. They did run the ball with Noah Neal in the first quarter and the second quarter. and we need to be more efficient on offense, which they really were. I mean, 55 points in the first half. I don't know how much more efficient you can get than that. Started off there, Sam Green with a pick six. Started early. And then here's the option. Look at this play by Ford. Ford has about 5 white shirts in him. He reverses field and then gets a block. Elijah Simley Flores with a great block here, and then he's going to go all the rest of the way. 67-yard touchdown. That came with 8:38 remaining in the first quarter. It was already 14-0, as the late Vince Scully used to say, before the seats were warm. Well, Redlands wasn't just going to go gently into the good night. This is Scarborough, an 89-yard kickoff return to make it 14-7, and you thought, okay, Redlands has something going. And then here's Simley Flores breaking a tackle, putting his foot down, dancing outside. He made it 21-7. That run came with 6:37 to go in the first quarter. And then the final score of the first quarter came from Keon Gant, just getting downfield and completing the ball to Galvin Riker. It was 28-7 after 12 minutes. Second quarter, another touchdown pass. This one to Elijah Simley Flores from Keon Gant. He had 3 touchdown passes and a run. And here's the freshman breaking it for a touchdown, Bowen. Here's the Gant run that we were talking about earlier, his touchdown run on the game. And then Bowen Gant hooks up with Bowen again for the touchdown. And those are all the scores in the first half. We'll throw it down to Nick Rice. Welcome back. 55-14 the final. King against Redlands the final. So the Wolves in the home opener, Jeff, get their first win of the year on the new turf. They're 1-1 on the year. Redlands drops to 0-1. Give me some final thoughts. Jason McMain's your king. What are you thinking right now?
I think if you're Jason McMains, you got to be happy with the way his team bounced back. And honestly, you know, you're in a new division in a tough league. You got to win these games, and you got to win them convincingly. He did that exactly as told tonight. Great in for and the Wolves.
First look at Keon Gant. What'd you think? So Noah Harrow's gone for the season. This young man from Citrus Hill, the transfer, has to step up.
I think he did a great job. I think he was a mobile quarterback. He was able to escape, but he did have a really powerful arm, left-handed, and made the proper play every single time. I thought tonight he was a huge surprise, and I'll tell you what, Coach McMains has to be happy with the replacement to come in for him.
Happy times in the red zone tonight for the Wolves. They win it 55-14 over Redlands. For Jeff Gorham, for Nick Rice, and our entire award-winning Riverside TV crew, my name is Ghazal Hassan. We'll talk to you next week. We'll have La Sierra and Campbell Hall next week on Friday as our prime game, and then we have RCC and on Saturday against Mount San Jacinto. So from Martin Luther King High School on Van Buren and Wood, the home team sends the fans home happy tonight, 55-14 over Redlands. Until next week, so long, everybody.